At the national level, I would like to say a few words about the Democrat Congress. Democrat politicians do not see people as individuals, but as victim groups that can be manipulated. Their MO is to instigate class warfare. For example, their tried and true rich versus poor is always a winner. They vilify and demonize those that have met the Democrat definition of rich and call it being patriotic and neighborly when they are forced to pay higher and higher taxes so that others less fortunate can share in the American dream. The less fortunate. Those are the people who have made choices in their lives that have led them to their present sorry condition. Choices such as slothfulness and self-destructive behavior. They claim a victim status which is happily bestowed upon them by the Democrats. The Democrats in Congress take from the achievers and give to the non-achievers, thus buying off that particular voter base. Is that the change we want? Democrat politicians appeal to the worst side of human nature and then work to propagate real or imagined grievances between rich and poor, blacks and whites, gays and straights. Their policies are divisive, and many Americans succumb to these tactics. For example, some Americans are happy to put it to the rich guy, though that in no way improves their own situation. Our Democrat-controlled Congress is fast-tracking our country to socialism. What does socialism mean for America? An ever-expanding, ever-controlling government. Individualism replaced by subservience to government. Erosion of individual liberties, rights, and incentives. Institutionalized mediocrity. Cultural decay. And a plummeting standard of living. Is that the change we want? The socialist argument is pathetic. They vilify the rich and view them as antisocial. The rich are to be punished rather than something to aspire to. With Democrats, the definition of rich is a moving target. This flexibility enables them to target whomever they deem needs to be taken down a notch or two. Small business owners, entrepreneurs, inventors, and pioneers of industry spawn jobs and provide millions of people with opportunities to achieve their own dreams. Ford, Microsoft, Apple, Hallmark Cards, Home Depot, Walmart, and Johnson & Johnson all started with an idea. Today they are household names. The government, with few exceptions, does not create products that have the capacity to grow an economy, let alone revolutionize our way of life. The socialist government only cares about its retention and growth of power and control. In the name of equality, they seek to artificially limit a people's ability to improve their lot in life. The socialists are happy with a stagnant middle class that is forever dependent upon the government for their source of success. However, that success will be monitored and limited. They can't have anyone becoming too successful. Is that the change we want? I vehemently oppose any governmental entity that legislatively stands in the way of my right and ability to make my mark. I also reject the idea that my achievement and its rewards are somehow undeserved and therefore must be redistributed to those who have not earned it. This will make life more fair for everyone in the warped mind of the socialist. Socialism suffocates and eventually kills the human spirit. Capitalism enlivens, encourages, and enables the natural human desire for self-fulfillment. Stripping away our freedoms in the name of equality, feeding the addiction of government dependency through expanding entitlement programs, onerous taxation, and the nationalization of private enterprise is the path that leads to a socialist state. Capitalism is being dismantled along with the American spirit of self-reliance. Is that the change we want? Conservatives do not categorize people by race, religion, or economic status. Conservatives see people as individuals. Our belief in low taxes, small government, and individual accountability is not targeted to victim groups as Democrat policies are. These beliefs are meant for all Americans. They do not favor one segment of the population over another or create winners and losers. Everyone is included, and it is up to the individual to utilize their talent, ambition, and initiative to achieve their version of the American dream. Is that the change we want? I say it is. Our country approaches a seminal moment in her history, where Americans have a clear choice to stand up and fight the government takeover of our very lives, or remain passive and accept a servile existence subject to the tyranny of absolute government control. I will close with a quote from the late Pastor Adrian Rogers. You cannot legislate the poor into freedom by legislating the wealthy out of freedom. What one person receives without working for, another person must work for without receiving. The government cannot give to anybody anything that the government does not first take from somebody else. When half of the people get the idea that they do not have to work because the other half is going to take care of them, and when the other half gets the idea that it does no good to work because somebody else is going to get what they work for, that, my dear friend, is about the end of any nation. You cannot multiply wealth by dividing it. End of quote. Thank you, and God bless the men and women of our armed forces.